Hello everyone, this is Ron from High Tech Legion, and this is part of our review of the Thermaltake New Soprano mid-tower case. And this is a part where we show you how to install your components inside. This is essentially an installation tutorial guide. And as you can see there, I have removed these side panels. Just remove the thumb screws and do that. And the first thing I'm going to do is, of course, figure out to install the motherboard and the power supply. Thankfully, the motherboard standoffs have already been pre-installed, just straight out of the box, so I don't need to worry about those. I just need to pop in my I/O shield here in the rear and put in my motherboard, and of course the power supply mounting area has a ventilation area here at the bottom, so I'm going to mount my power supply with the fan pointing downwards. And of course, Thermaltake provides mounting screws for the power supply on the accessory pack of the Thermaltake New Soprano, so I'm just going to take my screwdriver and screw it in place here at the back to secure it. Alright, as you can see, very neat so far. I have my motherboard in there. I've even routed the 24 pin and the 8 pin, although the space up here on top is a little tight, so you might want to fork your 8 pin and turn it into a 2+2 pin, and then so you can slip it in there and then combine it again. I'm even using a Thermaltake Smart Series power supply there, so even that I still had to do that because the space is a bit tight for the hole here, but it is manageable and it's not a problem. And of course, we're going to install our CPU now. It's actually clearance for 175 millimeters, so that is a lot of clearance. I don't know what the tallest CPU tower is, but I believe it's 172. Might be Thermalrite, one of the Thermalrite True. But even an NHD14 will fit that. I'm going to show you that. And the cool thing is that here at the rear, you have the back plate. You can see the clearance there. There is massive. Well, just ignore the cable here. You can see there's enough space all the way to the DIMM slot here, so I can install this Noctua back plate for the NHD14 without any issues. Usually what happens with cases only has the hole up to here, only up to here in the top, so you'd kind of have to scoot around, but in this case, as you can see, plenty of room to work with. So I'm going to install the NHD14 so you can see what it looks like, and if there is enough clearance, if it is indeed 175 millimeters. Alright, as you can see, I have the Noctua NHD14 installed there. One of the largest coolers ever made, air coolers at least. So now the test is, of course, whether I can close it, the side panel with that installed there. And as you can see, the side panel secures properly. And then I'll even show it to you here on the side that it is indeed closed. So it can definitely fit an NHD14 there, plenty of room. And of course the next thing is the video card clearance. Now I could take my tape measure and measure it for you, but even better, I'll take the longest video card ever made, which is essentially the AMD 6990. And for those asking, what about the 7990 or the 690? Well, they're all essentially the same length, but I believe the 6990 from AMD is still the longest ever made. So let me see if it fits there. You can see it doesn't fit directly. Let's see if we can wiggle some room in there and fit it in. Well, actually, it will be smart if I remove the PCI brackets first. So here at the rear, let me just show you, because this is not your typical thumb screw. It's basically a two-step process. You see that plate there? You have to remove this first so you can remove the thumb screw that you need, and a plate basically comes off, and now you can access your thumb screws that you need to. I think there's about 1 millimeter of clearance. So far, there we go. Hey, it is possible, but as you can see there, perfect. It is definitely possible. And let me take my camera there. But there is about 2 millimeters of clearance there, and It requires a little bit of massaging, as you can see, but it does fit a 6990. So definitely anything smaller, even a GTX 580 will definitely fit. GTX 580, as you can see, I don't have to maneuver it. I can just pop it in right there and it will fit. So no problems with that. So anything smaller than that, you can ask, what about my 7770? Obviously it's not a 6990, it will fit. So if a 6990 can fit, any card can pretty much fit in there. But caveat is that, again, it takes a little bit of maneuvering and there's very little clearance in there, although there's a 200mm intake anyway. You just want to remove some of these hard drive caddies if you want more airflow to that, outputting into your outputting from your 6990. But other than that, it fits. So I'm going to take this out. I'm not going to test it with my 6990, but I'm going to test it out with another video card there, and I'm going to continue on with installation. I'm going to show you how to install a hard drive inside this caddy right here and onto the toolless 5 1/4 inch external drive base. Installing 5 1/4 inch external devices inside your Thermaltake New Soprano case is very easy. Of course, you have to remove the cover, even though there is a latch on the other side, which is hard to get to with the door in there. You don't need to touch that. You can actually just hit it like this, open it on one side, and just simply pop in your drive. And then let me just rotate it so you can see what it looks like here on the locking area. See right there. What happens if I push it in, keep on pushing it in. Well, actually, I think I pushed it too far. No, there you go. It's perfect. It's actually flush there now until it automatically snaps in place. It doesn't even move anymore. And all you need to do to release that is, of course, just press that, and you're free to remove it. It snaps itself automatically, so that is one of the smartest mounting mechanisms I've ever seen. And let's check if there is also a lock on the other side as well, or if it's that. It's actually just one-sided lock. So as you can see there, you might need to add screws on the other side to secure it completely. But on the other side, that was a very good locking mechanism. See, my system down here is quite heavy now. Getting hard to move around. Well, next step is, of course, our SSDs and our hard drives. I'm going to show you how to install those next. To install 3.5 inch or 2.5 inch SSDs, you have to use the caddies provided by Thermaltake, as you can see there. You have two options for the hard drive. You get basically, you can use M3 screws for the bottom, but it is better if you actually use the flat screws so that there is the noise dampening foam. See there? If you lock it with that, so to minimize the vibrations and the noise emitted from those vibrations, so use that. As for the SSDs, see that it has that clear form factor. You can actually use, there's no obstructions anywhere, so you can use your 90-degree cable to connect the SATA cables on the drive itself. And you need to, of course, remove the right side panel to plug in your cables and remove the left side panel to take out your drives. Alright, so here is what it looks like here behind the right side panel, behind the motherboard tray. As you can see, I have basic cable management skills there. It definitely could be a lot better, but it is a little bit hard because there are no loops to secure the cable tie, especially in this area. There are some here, but not behind here for the 8-pin and the. See, I just used this cable tie here just to show you what it looks like with the little bit of traffic manager. So there's no way to loop that, and so it will stick to the back of the motherboard tray there. But here in the hard drive area, there's plenty of room, and I like that there's actually a little hole there that is perfectly sized to route your hard drive cable, SATA cable, instead of routing it here in the heavy traffic area of the other cables. So you can just plug in your SATA cable there and then plug it in directly to the right side of it. There's a small cubby hole there, so definitely a very good cable management area for the hard drive area. Decent routing here at the top. There's two options, as it should be, which is standard now. Also, the front panel audio cable is long enough so that I can route it here at the top and down at the bottom. And as you can see there. The next test now is, of course, to put in our right side panel. And this one is a little bit hard to tie down, so this will take a little bit of massaging, but it looks possible. I've definitely done a lot worse. It's not going to be hard on systems with that use sort of individual braided 34-pin cables, but for something like this, definitely it will require a lot more effort. Just lock that in place there. Can't find the hole. Actually, have to pull it out again a little bit since there is pressure there pushing at the bottom. That is sort of a little drawback there with having all the not enough room there for the cable management. There you go. I think as the panel itself, as you can see there, it's not. It could be sturdier. It's not the most sturdy front panel there, especially for over $100 case. I would expect the front panels to be sturdier and sort of. I guess they gave it a little bit more flex so it can accommodate the cables there, but it shouldn't be this hard to put back a front panel, a side panel cable. And there we go. Now time to look at the other side here, the main chamber. Just move the camera so you can see what it looks like. As you can see there, NHD14, got my GTX 580. All the cables are routed in the back, except for see I've chosen to route my some of my SATA cables there, but that's not a problem. You can just push that to the side. There you go. And of course, very easy to route. Even the 8-pin power cable is not a problem. And again, the 5¼ inch and it was very easy to use, and the 3½ inch, so although it wasn't toolless as you would expect from other cases. So to do now, put back the side panel. Let's listen to the sound, whether it is indeed quiet, and also benchmark to see as how well, especially having a small ventilation there, if we have any issues with a temperature, if we can live with a temperature or not. So let's check that out, and you can hear my conclusion right after this, after we've done checking those out. Alright, there it is. You can hear the Thermaltake New Soprano still running behind me, and a couple of things to conclude it. Things I like first, the looks is definitely a lot better compared to previous Thermaltake cases, especially previous Thermaltake New Soprano, Thermaltake Soprano cases. It is a mid-tower. There's plenty of room to work with, even though it is a mid-tower. It can fit a 6990 with a little bit of wiggle room, but it is possible, and no problems installing any other video card there. There's plenty of room. I like the internal layout. I like the hard drive caddies, even though they're not toolless. And my favorite is the 5¼ inch locking mechanism. It is essentially the same as the Armor Revo Gene internally. They just changed the colors and added dampening foam on the side and changed the bezel. So it has that functionality in there. Although there is also the hard drive docking bay on top. And I think that was just there because all the other Thermaltake cases had that as well, and essentially it sets it apart from other cases. But I would have preferred if they added a fan controller instead of that. You can hear in the back that it's not the quietest case among the cases designed to be quiet, because I have the fan running at 12 volt, and it's you know, it is a very good fan. It is a quiet fan, but if it's running at 12 volt, it's still audible. I would have preferred a fan controller in there instead of all the other features, even the LED lighting. I don't see the point of having LED lighting there. I mean, it looks alright, but when your door is closed, you can only see the accent here at the bottom. The LED on the top looks good, the power LED, but other than that, I really would have preferred a fan controller and more functionality and better sort of noise dampening features. But so with that said, I cannot give this a gold award. Unfortunately, it doesn't make that cut. I would give it a silver award. Plus the side panels were they were not the sturdiest. It really needs to be sturdy, especially in the $110 price segment for sound cases. There's plenty out there that are really competing with the Thermaltake New Soprano case. So unfortunately, I had to give it only a silver award. I have to dock it a few points for not having a fan controller, and the side panels need to be sturdier. But other than that, the build quality is very good. I expected from a Thermaltake case, and the looks especially, I love that for sound case. And it's not a very tall case, but it can fit most video cards. It can fit a 6990 and an HD14 without an issue. 6990 has to be wiggled in a bit, but other than that, 6990 fits in any other video card that is shorter than that. Again, this is Ron from High Tech Legion signing off, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/hightechlegion, and leave questions or comments below, and go to our Facebook, facebook.com/HLReviews. Again, this is Ron signing out.